so you have questions about E-Verify. Well, E-Verify is coming to your employer soon and will be a household term. E-Verify is an internet-based system that verifies an employee eligibility to work in the United States. So when you get a new job, your employer will give you a Form I-9 to complete, where you list your information and you also give your employer documents such as your social security card, your driver's license, your green card, your U.S. passport. Form I-9 is to determine your eligibility to work in the United States. If you have an employment authorization document, this can also be used to complete Form I-9. Your employer then takes this provided information and the documents that you provided to support your Form I-9 and inputs it into E-Verify, an internet-based system. Once the information is inputted, it is then compared with the information that's maintained in the Social Security Administration database and the Department of Homeland Security database. Once it is inputted into the system, your employer will either get a yes or a no in terms of whether you are verified to work in the United States. What happens if your employer gets a rejection? Well, if your employer gets a rejection, then he or she should notify you if you're going to contest the rejection or the no match, or if you're going to abandon your job application. If you decide that you are going to contest the no match, then you will receive a tentative non-conforming notice. That TNC, or tentative non-conforming notice, will be given to you by your employer. It will have a due date when you have to get your issues resolved in terms of your no match issue or your name not matching issue, and it will give you the steps that you have to take to resolve the issue. Now, while you are resolving the issue, your employer cannot, I repeat, your employer cannot fire you, your employer cannot dismiss you, your employer cannot lay you off. You have a specific amount of time to resolve the conflict or no match issue, and your employer cannot let you go, okay? Now, however, if you do not get the issue resolved within the allotted time in the TNC, tentative non-conforming notice, then your employer can fire you or let you go. Now, what can lead to a rejection or a no match in terms of E-Verify kicking back your information? Well, your name has to be the same, spelled the same on all your documents, meaning your U.S. passport, your green card, your employment authorization, your social security card, and your driver's license. If your name, so if you have a maiden name on one document, a married name on another document, you're going to get a no match or a rejection. So what you need to make sure is that your name is the same on all your documents before you give them to your employer. If your name is not the same, then you need to take steps such as going to Social Security and correcting your name, or contacting the Department of Homeland Security, changing your name on your green card, changing your name on your passport, right, to reflect your current and correct name. You also need to go to these agencies because maybe in their system they have your name spelled incorrectly. So you need to go to these agencies, show them your documents, and then they will recheck their system to make sure your name is reflected correctly. Now, why do employers like E-Verify? It is not mandatory for an employer to use E-Verify. Certain federal and state contractors are required to use E-Verify, but a lot of private employers are voluntarily deciding they want to use E-Verify. If we do have immigration reform, I'm sure it's going to be required for all employers to use E-Verify, but for most employers right now, it's on a voluntary basis. But employers do like E-Verify. Why do they like it? Well, once they input your information, they get an instant answer, yes or no. Can I hire this employee? Is their documents verified? And they like that. The second reason why employers like E-Verify is it keeps track of the expiration of their employee documents. When your green card is going to expire, or your U.S. passport's going to expire, or your employment authorization document is going to expire, your employer will get an email notifying them that your documents are about to expire, and they will ask you for updated documents. How do you know if your employer is using E-Verify? You know your employer or potential employer is using E-Verify because they have to have this poster posted in a public area. So you know that they are using E-Verify, and if you decide to accept employment with this employer, you will be going through an E-Verify verification. Again, if you have any questions about E-Verify or any immigration questions, contact the Immigration Law Offices of Gail Seeram. We do offer a free in-office consultation. We offer 24/7 live web chat. Visit myorlandoimmigrationlawyer.com. We will be happy to help you. Thank you.